And let's start off with the humble, the elegant watering can. In my opinion, every garden, no matter how large or small, you need a watering can because of the manual flexibility of it. I can come in, I've got some young seedlings in this bed here, and I can just quickly give them this little drink that maybe they're not going to be getting from an irrigation system. So I personally really like it for that reason.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. So all you really need to know about last night's debate is that Donald Trump posted a single image to cap off the night at 2 a.m. Donald Trump posts this image on Instagram. Trump indicted for murdering elderly man on CNN. Oh, Benny, it's a Photoshop. No, it's not. Here it is. Right here on Donald Trump's Instagram. How many people follow Donald Trump on Instagram? 25 million people follow Donald Trump on Instagram. And this post has 750,000 likes. There it is. From the Babylon Bee, by the way, the original post. So shout out to the Bee. That's about it. I mean, really, what else do you need, right? Joe's cooked. He's cooked. Look at these headlines. The New York Times screaming Joe Biden drop out. The New York Times saying Donald Trump won. Like everybody saying Joe Biden won. Politico screaming Joe Biden drop out. The worst debate performance in American history, they say. Deluded till the end. Biden refuses to drop out. And even commits to a second debate with Trump after train wreck. Oh, baby. Oh, it's just beautiful. Congressional Democrats are now openly telling CNN that they wish to commit Harry Carey instead of watch Joe Biden debate.
He said that when that happened, the entire room was just completely silent and in shock, and that this member's own reaction was that he wanted to jump off of a bridge.
Wanted to jump off a bridge. Democrats for weeks have been stating that Joe Biden is so tough, so strong, so with it. Joe Biden went and hid in the woods for like 10 days. Nobody saw him. This is all he did, is prepare for the debate. And the best he could do was delivering a debate in which Donald Trump won by 34 points, according to the people polled. Net 66-point swing towards Trump based on their last two debates. Yeah, not good. This is, of course, what the betting markets look like this morning as to who's going to win the presidency. Not good. Not great. Doesn't matter how much cope and how much seethe there is. It's over, right, for Joe Biden. All you have to do is look at the energy on Donald Trump's side, which looked like this last night, with Donald Trump finishing his debate strong with his advisors, ready to rock. And here's what Joe Biden looked like after the debate.
Look, folks, you know, I shouldn't say this, but my brother always uses lines from movies. There was a famous movie about John Wayne, and he's working for the northern military, trying to get the Apaches back in the reservation. And they were lying like hell to him. And they're all sitting on a bluff. And John Wayne was sitting with two Indian, they were Apaches. And one of them looked at John Wayne and said, "These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers." Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact-checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look,
so this would seem the strategy. That's the president, obviously the first lady, talking about these presidential debates, the first of which we all witnessed here tonight. And Mary, what is the campaign saying? We keep
initial response on the campaign, and
ABC News is so embarrassed for Joe Biden that they cut him off. And this happened again and again and again. The media meltdown and the media panic was so delicious last night from some of the most hardened Joe Biden pro-apparatchiks.
Is widespread panic among Democrats. I got a number of text messages this evening, Democrats reaching out to say this is difficult to watch. Where does this go from here? One Democratic lawmaker, Tom, going so far as to say this race is effectively over.
Ooh, baby, this race is effectively over. Now, that's NBC News corporate media completely astroturfed Kristen Welker. All right. But what are the people saying in the activist circles? What are activists saying about the debate last night? One of the people who have like the largest progressive YouTube channels saying last night, this is my favorite, is Senk's Meltdown.
Time the split screen is killing Biden because he's got his mouth open. He looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in like disastrous shape. Those are going to be played a billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life. And so there's no person that has a single brain cell left in their head who thinks that Joe Biden is the best candidate to take on Donald Trump. You would have to be even crazier than Donald Trump to think that. This thing is over. I'll guarantee you this. I would bet show me a Democratic politician and I will bet them any amount of money that Joe Biden's going to lose this election if he's the candidate. It's a guaranteed loss. You're telling me this is the most important election of our lifetimes? You're telling me that democracy's on the line and you're gonna put on a guy who can't even talk, who can't even sit there and look normal. This thing's a bloodbath. He's gonna get annihilated. That is, okay, now the Democrats have to decide. Are they happy to lose? Are they willing to lose? Because this is a guaranteed loss.
Ooh, baby, that was such a delicious meltdown. Now, Senk is no fan of Joe Biden. What about people who are fans of Joe Biden? Like people who used to work for Joe Biden?
I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
If he'll allow us to do that, man, oh man. What a knife to the side for your old boss, right? And it didn't stop there. Chris Wallace is one of Joe Biden's best friends. Chris Wallace rigged the debate in 2020 to favor Joe Biden. And here's what Chris Wallace had to say.
I think it was even before that moment when he first started speaking, President Biden, and that the raspiness, the hoarseness in his voice, that was at 9/11. And, there were several minutes when Jake and Dana were setting the rules. So it's got to have been less than 10 minutes into the debate. And he totally lost his train of thought and ended up saying Medicare just out of the blue. We've heard so much from the other panel, their reactions to this. I think ever since, and I've had this conversation so often, that after the midterms, if Joe Biden, after a remarkably successful first 2 years and a remarkably successful midterm for a first-term president, had said, I'm the transitional president, and I'm moving on and sending it to another generation, but he was unwilling to do that, and Jill Biden was unwilling to do that, and ever since then we have been.
I'm just as you're saying that, I'm only interrupting you, Chris, because that is a watch party. That's live right now. Joe Biden is joining her at the watch party she was at in Atlanta. Obviously, a response that does not match what seems to be the broader response, that they're cheering for him right there, as you can see. 4 more years.
Do we want to watch that, or?
No, we don't have to.
Okay, we're not. Anyway, I was just going to say that the two of them decided after November of 2022 that he was going to seek the presidency when there were so many people who thought he should have turned it over to a new generation. And this has been, quite frankly, a car accident in slow motion that we've seen over and building and questioning it. And, as has been pointed out, Joe Biden sought this debate at this remarkably early time because he knew he was losing and he needed to change the narrative. Yep. And he did change the narrative. He sunk his campaign tonight.
He did change the narrative. He sunk his campaign, which is a car wreck. This is what the biggest simp for Joe Biden in the corporate media in DC has to say. Makes you wonder, when all these people are singing from the same songbook, exactly what is afoot.
Said, I too was on the phone throughout much of the debate with
Joy Reid,
Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak. And, you know, I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. President Biden had one job tonight, and it was one primary job. And yes, it was to litigate Donald Trump's, you know, criminality and all of those things. But he had to settle his own party. He needed to settle Democrats. Democrats, you know, they always talk about Democrats are bedwetters and Democrats are always panicking. Yes, Democrats are always panicking. They're always scared, right? They're always thinking they're going to lose. Like, Democrats are very pessimistic. This is just neurotic. Who they are. They're neurotic. But Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. I have the ability and the stamina and the strength to do 4 more years. He did not do that. He did the opposite
of that. Right. Okay. So this is what all the libs have to say. And there are hundreds of hours of commentary just like this. And these people are very mysteriously suddenly turning on a dime and saying that Joe Biden, the man that they've been protecting for the better part of the last 6 years, that they knew was in total and complete mental collapse, that this guy is now suddenly burst onto the stage, and we're now seeing his dementia for the first time. It's so disingenuous. There's one guy who's allowed to be a Republican on CNN. His name's Scott Jennings, and he wore his Republican hat. I don't think he's even a Donald Trump fan, like, at all, but he wore his hat last night proudly. Here's the one Republican I'll show you in the actual meltdown.
Every single person out here, and I just the candidacy has fallen. Okay. Man, I know you're speaking from your heart. I'm worried about the president. We should pray for the president. I think his advisors, I think the White House, and I think his family have a lot of explaining to do to their party and to the American people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The thing that was made clear last night is that this is all elder abuse, and that the true villain is Jill Biden, who keeps this whole train rolling for her own, like, wicked purposes. Obviously, I mean, Jill Biden just, like, grabbing Joe, yanking him around everywhere, dragging him everywhere, treating him like a little 3-year-old child in the middle of these cringe events that ABC News has to cut away from. The meltdowns were real and delicious last night. The salt, it fills our cup, and the tears taste like gumdrops. It's your boy Benny. For more salt, please subscribe. See ya.